If you've ever thought there are no original games anymore, I have 2 words for you. Okay, it's just 1 word, but it's an incredible horror experience, unlike anything you've ever played, yet somehow familiar, like someone sketched a nightmare you had. Mundaun is a first-person horror game shaped by Swiss folklore, steeped in mystery, with a visual style that's equal parts childlike and deeply disturbing. Released in 2021 by Swiss developer Hidden Fields for last and current-gen Xbox and PlayStation consoles, PC, and Switch. After hearing your grandfather passed away, you return to Mundaun, the small village deep in the Swiss mountains, to pay your respects. Early on, it's clear you weren't told the whole story about his death, sending you on an unsettling journey to uncover the truth. The overall narrative is interesting, if fairly standard, but it's in how it's presented that makes it so fascinating. Whether you're talking with a severed goat head or creeping through a shack overrun with bees to find a jar of honey, the details create this layered and dreamlike experience. At its heart, Mundaun's an adventure game. You'll navigate the small but dense environments, talk with a few rare souls for clues, and collect items to complete puzzles. Dialogue in Mundaun is voiced in an uncommon regional dialect Romansh, which adds to the authenticity. Very few of the obstacles preventing your progress present any real challenge, but the objectives are varied enough to keep them consistently engaging. Like creating the right symbols on a series of wheels to open a gate, or one that has you hitting hanging meat slabs to form the correct sequence of musical notes. Somehow. Most problems simply involve finding the right tool for the job. The core gameplay and puzzles are decent, but they mostly serve to deliver Mundaun's well-told story in hauntingly macabre style. Mundaun's charcoal-tinted world is broken up into 3 distinct areas that you can freely explore and travel between, with shacks and locations full of interesting nooks and crannies that you'll be rewarded for uncovering, not only through the tidbits of lore and environmental storytelling around every corner, but by finding various items that upgrade your 3 basic stats of health, sanity, and marksmanship. Eating bread increases max health. Reading rifle manuals increases your aim. And drinking a cup of coffee increases your sanity. However, as with most of Mundaun, it won't be straightforward. For example, you can't just grab some coffee and drink it. Oh no! You'll need to fill a pot with water, put it on a stove, and put coffee in the pot. Then place a log in the burner, light it, wait for the water to finish boiling, and pour the coffee in a cup. All of the individual items you'll need to find separately and complete each of the steps one at a time. While you might think this overly obtuse nature to basic tasks would be frustrating, I found they added to the oppressive dreamlike nature of it all. Saving your progress also requires a degree of babysitting. The game doesn't autosave, so unless you're manually saving regularly, you can easily lose 15 to 20 minutes of progress when you die, which can put a damper on things. Mundaun's first area needs to be explored on foot, but subsequent ones will need the Mouvel, a hay baler that belonged to your grandfather. You'll need to fill this thing up with hay and use it for various puzzles. Even though you can leave it anywhere, you can't lose it. You can summon it by looking at these posters, which is a surprisingly player-friendly addition. And this isn't Mundaun's only mode of transportation either, but I'll leave the rest to you to discover. Things are generally safe during the day, but exploring at night brings out creepy enemies that you can choose to avoid or fight. You'll have a pitchfork, ancient rifle, or even fire at your disposal. You'll also get a special lantern that's supposed to keep the spirits away. However, I recommend you stick to stealth, as the combat feels overly clunky. Thankfully, confrontation is completely optional. In fact, you can complete Mundaun without hurting a soul. Without a doubt, the unique visuals create an incredibly haunting dreamscape. Everything was actually hand-drawn on paper, scanned, and applied to 3D models, giving it texture and identity unlike anything else. The rough strokes and scratches just look off, never allowing you to feel completely comfortable. The visuals are enhanced by stilted animations, which actually work in the game's favor. These rough-drawn characters don't look like they were designed with fluidity in mind, so the choppy animation adds to their living artwork quality. Other than a few, there aren't jump scares. The fear builds through the unrelenting atmosphere, and the European radio stations further immerse you in the setting. Mundaun delivers 8 to 10 well-paced hours of slow-burning horror, There are no endless exposition dumps or scary monsters jumping into frame. The story is perfectly paced, ensuring it remains compelling throughout. You can make some choices that steer the narrative and will actually change the ending somewhat. They're not overly dramatic, but a nice way to give you agency in how the story plays out. For the most part, you can get all trophies just by playing through the story. You'll want to explore every inch of the maps to find the trophies connected to secrets, and you'll need to reload your save toward the end to make different choices and see the 4 different endings. The only challenge I found was avoiding killing the enemies or getting killed yourself. So, while basic, you'll have to focus on a stealthy approach. Mundaun does a hell of a lot right, all while offering strong world design, an intriguing narrative, a haunting presentation, and rewarding exploration. It's not all that scary, but will be consistently unnerving and will stick with you long after you turn it off. If you're in the mood for an experience that's totally unique, I recommend you explore the haunting village of Mundaun. Alright, you've heard my take on Mundaun, and I'd love to hear yours as well. Also, what's your favorite original horror game? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. If you liked the video, hit like and subscribe, and if you want another game that you haven't played, check out my video right here. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.